Hello, my name's Nathaniel, and today we'll be talking to you about an awesome deep sky object called the Dumbbell Nebula. We're hoping to show you live footage from tonight, but due to weather issues, we have to use an image taken last week by the Slooh telescopes. So, what even is a nebula? Some of you watching may not know, and I didn't even know until the past couple of weeks. So, a nebula is basically a giant, colorful space cloud consisting mostly of dust and gases like hydrogen and helium. They're a result of dead or dying stars because when a star dies, it explodes and pushes out all this gas and dust into space, which creates the colors and shape of a nebula. All this dust and all this gas has the potential to collide with one another with so much force that it fuses together. This is what creates new stars and new planets, and for that reason, nebulae are sometimes referred to as stellar nurseries. Thanks for listening, and now I'll pass it on to Carter today, who'll get into more of the specifics about what you see behind me.
All right, thank you, Nathaniel. As you said, I'm Carter Day, and what we're looking at is a certain type of nebula called a planetary nebula. And so planetary nebulae get their name because when you look at them through telescopes, they appear as if they're similar to a giant gas planet, as you can see here. So scientists estimate that there are about 10,000 of these in all of space, but they've only been able to discover 1,500 of them. So just think, in all of space, there's still probably remaining 8,500 undiscovered giant gas clouds like this everywhere. And so something else interesting to think about is that 5 billion long years from now, our own sun will become a planetary nebula, which is kind of cool. So this specific nebula is the Dumbbell Nebula. It's the second largest nebula to ever be discovered, and was also the first one ever to be discovered in 1764 by a French astronomer named Charles Messier. And so, believe it or not, in 1764, when Messier found the Dumbbell Nebula, he saw what it looked like in the year 404 AD. This is because the Dumbbell Nebula is a stunning 1,360 light years away from Earth. And so looking at it tonight, we see what the Dumbbell Nebula looked like in the year 655 AD. And in order to see what it looks like right now in 2015, we would have to look at it again in 3,375 AD. And so now Logan is going to explain why this is.
Hi, I'm Logan Klubakrak. So, as Carter said, the Dumbbell Nebula is 1,360 light years away. You probably know that that's really far, but what even is a light year? A light year is basically the distance that light travels in a year. I'm going to try to explain how far that is and put that distance into perspective for you. So the speed of light is 1,079,252,849 kilometers per hour, which is really, really fast. So if you multiply that by the 24 hours in a day, you get 25,959,353,337 kilometers per day. And then multiply that by the 365 and a quarter days in a year, and you get as I said earlier, a light year is the distance that light travels in a year, or 9,481,653,822,281 kilometers. When you multiply that by 1,360, you get that the Dumbbell Nebula is 12 quadrillion 895,049,000,000,000 kilometers away. I don't know about you, but I have a hard time thinking about just 1,000,000 kilometers. This number is way too big to even imagine. To try to put that into perspective, if Earth was the size of a ping pong ball, the Dumbbell Nebula would still be 40,480,515.2 kilometers away. So coming back to what Carter said about why we see the Dumbbell Nebula as it was in 655 AD, 1,360 light years means that it takes light 1,360 years to travel that distance. So we see the Dumbbell Nebula as it was 1,360 years ago. Thanks so much for listening to our presentation, and now we're going to hand it back over to Bob in the studio.